What's going on, guys? Bluefoot back, and today we're going to be going over the top 5 worst perks in Call of Duty Zombies. Now, on my channel before, a long time ago, I did the top 5 best perks. If you want to check that video out, the link will be in the description below. Make sure to enjoy the hell out of that video, as well as all my other videos. And so yeah, we're just going to be going over the top 5 worst perks in Zombies, just perks that aren't really that beneficial when you really crack down on them. So let's get into it. Coming in at your number 5 spot, we have Deadshot Daiquiri. Now, this is a perk that really isn't bad. It's actually pretty beneficial. What it does is automatically aims at the zombies' heads as well as increase the hip fire accuracy, and it's only 1500 points. So it's really not bad, but the only problem I have with this perk is that when I find myself in a situation where I can only have 4 perks, which is on most maps, it's really just not a good option. I mean, when you're playing Mob of the Dead, you only have a few options, right? What you like to do is get Jug, you want to get Electric Cherry and Speed Cola and Double Tap. And you just want those 4. You don't need Quick Revive because there's Afterlife on that map. But Deadshot is that one perk where you, like, it's good, I would take it, but I don't need it. It's not a necessity. Deadshot is not a necessity, however, it is not a bad perk. Deadshot just happens to be a perk that isn't great. That's why it happens to be on this list. It's definitely worth the money, and I would take Deadshot if I could, but since you're very limited on how much perks you can have, that's just, it's not great and it's not viable, especially on high rounds. It just becomes kind of useless. And it comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have Double Tap Rootbeer. Now, this isn't Double Tap 2, Double Tap 1, the original Double Tap from World at War and Black Ops. Now, as you guys know, Double Tap 2 is incredible because it increases your damage by twice the amount. So, every time you shoot out 1 bullet, 2 come out, essentially. It's just amazing, and increasing your damage by twice the amount in zombies is huge. But, Double Tap 1 is different. It doesn't do that. All it does is increase your rate of fire by, I think, twice the amount. I mean, it could be less than that, it could be more, I'm not exactly sure, but it's Double Tap. It just increases your rate of fire by twice the amount. Now, in theory, that sounds good, but there are a lot of complaints from a lot of different people. They don't like it because you go through ammo twice as fast, and I can understand why. When you're playing a World at War map or a Black Ops map, you don't need this perk. There are so many other better options, and it's just not something you need to have. If you only have 4 slots available, you might as well get it, but for the most part, it can be a little bit detrimental, especially when you have a machine gun or something like that that already has a fast fire rate, and you just blow through ammo, and that's the only problem I have with Double Tap. It just isn't a great perk. It's not really terrible, kind of like Deadshot, but it is worse than Deadshot in my opinion. So, yeah, that comes in at number 4. Alright, this is where shit just starts hitting the fan here, boys. So, coming in at number 3, we have Mule Soda. Now, this is a perk that, in theory, sounds great. Sounds like a fun time. You can just, oh my god, you get a 3rd weapon. What is better than that? You get 3 weapons to kill the zombies with. Well, let me put this into perspective for you. So, you pay 4,000 points for Mule Kick, right? Okay, we're on a great budget here, so then you'll go and hit the box, right? Let's say you don't get the Wonder Weapon or anything you want right away. You're spinning the box, let's say on average, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, so that's about 4,000 points or so, right there, spinning the box, getting what you want. Then, you spend another 5,000 points trying to upgrade that weapon. So you've invested over 10,000 points on this weapon on average, and now you go down. How unbelievably shitty do you feel as a person when you go down with this perk? Not only do you lose all of that money, but you lose that weapon. Mule Kick can be good. It is kind of good, because if you're a good player and you manage not to go down, it's a great time. Cool, you get a 3rd weapon. I don't think it should be 4,000 points. I don't like the system where it doesn't tell you which weapon you lose. I mean, sometimes you lose your best weapon and then you just die after you get back up. So Mule Kick, in theory, sounds good, but I hate this perk. I've had so many instances where I just get fucked over by this perk. And although it's not terrible, it definitely deserves a spot at number 3 on the worst perks list. Okay, so the following perks are actually bad perks. This is where the list gets shitty. And coming in at number 2, we have Tombstone Soda. Now, this is a perk where everybody is expecting this to be on the top 5 worst list. It's just a matter of where it is. And I put it number 2, not number 1. And here's why. So, Tombstone is bad because it gives you an incentive to die. So when you're playing with, let's say, 2 people, right, and you're just playing a game of town like you see here, and you use Tombstone after you go down, now your teammate is stuck with twice the amount of zombies that they had before to try to survive. And then they die. Let's say they just die. Game over. Game over. Not only did you fuck yourself over, but you fucked your teammate over. Okay, not only that, but it takes up a perk slot. So when you're using this perk, you can only get 3 others, like let's say you get Speed Cola, Double Tap, Jug, like the normal people. Instead of getting Tombstone, why don't you just get a perk that'll actually help you from dying in the first place, like Stamina Up or Quick Revive or anything for that matter? Why don't you get a perk that helps you survive instead of thinking you're gonna die? Now granted, if you are a bad zombies player and you know it, you might want to buy this perk because it might be helpful for you. That's why it's not the worst perk in my opinion. If you are genuinely bad at zombies and you're willing to admit it and you want to buy this perk for that exact reason, so be it, okay? That's actually what it's for. And I know it's for transit, how it's a large map and you can just use your Tombstone so you don't have to run all the way across the map and get it. I get that too. So when I take those 2 small factors into consideration, it just misses the #1 spot. And as you guys could probably tell, you already know what the #1 spot is. But nonetheless, Tombstone is just a shitty perk. I feel like people kind of shit on it a little bit too much because when you're using the 6 perk glitch, when you're just playing a nice game of town, it's really not bad because, you know, you can get all 6 perks. But if you're doing it for like a regular transit game especially, it's just don't, okay? Just don't. If you're new to zombies and you see Tombstone, just fucking don't, okay? Whatever you do, just don't buy that fucking perk, okay? Rest in pieces. Somebody call a fucking ambulance right now. Coming in at #1, guys, we have the infamous Who's Who. Okay. Let me explain to you what Who's Who is, for those of you who don't know, okay? So you spend 2,000 points to get this perk, right? Then you drink it up, and then guess what happens? You go down, cool, so then you reappear. But you have the starting pistol, and let's say you're on round 50 with the starting pistol. You have to try to revive yourself, okay? Okay, and you don't. You don't revive yourself. If you do, props to you, man, you're good at zombies. If you don't, well, I mean, you weren't expecting much anyways, because guess what? Who's Who just fucking blows, okay? You know what? If you are watching this video and you don't know what Who's Who is and you don't know how bad it sucks, I don't know what to tell you, man. I've seen so many videos just ripping on Who's Who, and this isn't going to be any different. Who's Who is just the worst perk of all time. It just screws you over. It is a detriment to you. It is a detriment, and I'm getting a little bit off track here, but the point is, Who's Who sucks. I don't even have any gameplay of it. That's how much I hate Die Rise, and that's how much I hate Who's Who, okay? So, that's going to conclude the list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm so tired when I'm making this, but anyways, yeah, so that's the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Leave any suggestions for top 5s down below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It keeps the channel moving, and it keeps us all happy, like Charlie Brown. So, I'm gonna leave, and hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day, and peace out.